Do you see, not this year, obviously, but do you see the first step towards a path towards a title in year 4, year 5? Like, what is the path here? What does it look like if it comes to fruition and they win a title? Or compete?
No, I definitely think there is a year plan. And to go back to what you said, like they've clearly, and they've said it publicly, they wanted to make the playoffs all these years. And I have no issue with trying to field a good team and make, like, if I lived in Portland and I was a Portland fan my whole life, I would love what the Trailblazers have done the last few years. That's a fan base that loves its team. They have an exciting brand of basketball, and there's years where they can make the Western Conference Finals, and there's years they could lose in the first round. But you have a core there that you feel confident something could happen, and then you can go down the line with Utah, Denver. Like, there's teams like that. In Detroit, I think it was different because a lot of the money was tied up. One, they got lost in the sauce in the way the NBA was going. It was going longer on the perimeter, smaller up front, and Detroit was obviously opposite of that. And then they invested a lot of money in guys that were hurt, and it just didn't seem like it was going to work. But in terms of this new iteration of Pistons basketball, is there a path to a title in 4 years? We'll have to find out, but I think there is a plan. So, I mean, pretty much everybody on this roster now is on the books for the next 2-3 years. Yeah, Blake's done it after next season. And I think what the idea is they draft the 4 guys this year. Killian's going to be a primary focus. Whoever they get next year is going to be another one. So when Blake's contract is off the books, whether he leaves before then, whether he stays until his deal is up, that year, 2021, 22, after that season, they will only have Jeremy Grant on the books who makes over $10 million. And so you're hoping that by then you have 2 or 3 more first-round picks, high ones. You add them in with Killian and Sadiq and Isaiah. You have a lot of cap space in a year. I think 2022 and specifically 2023 is like one of the most stacked free agency classes in a long time. Troy Weaver has connections in the NBA. I mean, Jeremy Grant came here, turned down a deal from Denver. He's been in OKC where you hear glowing things from Russ and KD. Like, players around the league are familiar with Troy and they like Troy. And I think the plan is for the next 3 years to build a culture, a team that's going to play every night, going to play, quote unquote, I hate saying it, cliche, Detroit basketball. They're going to have young pieces that people are going to want to come play with. They hope they develop into something exciting. And then when the free agency market comes in 4 years from now, they're hoping that Troy can work some magic and bring some guys in, couple those guys with how they develop their young players, and you got something worthwhile. And you still have 6, I think there'll be 6 guys on rookie deals that year on top of, and that's not even counting in who they would sign in free agency. So the way that they're using, they're forward thinking in building a roster, knowing that they'll have so many cheap salaries on the books, which is something that, I mean, Detroit's books have been maxed out for many years leading up to this. So it is a different approach. Whether or not it works, it depends on who they can get in free agency, how they draft. That's what it always comes down to, though, for teams in this type of market. Like, we could sit here and rattle off all the things that's been wrong with the Pistons the past few years, but we're not talking about any of it if they draft well. And they just haven't drafted well.
Before you go to another tab, please like, subscribe, and follow for more clips and highlights. Good? Okay.
See, beautiful. That's a natural at work.